Hey there, YouTube. This is CFL Fanatic. I'm giving you my picks for Week 11 in the 2011 CFL season. Last weekend was Labor Day weekend. Pretty interesting matchups. And just tonight was the rematch, the Calgary-Edmonton rematch, and boy, that toss right at the end of the first half to Nick Lewis, wow, that was something else. Kudos to Burris and to Lewis on that one. So last week, once again, 2-2. I was 500 for 9 out of 10 weeks so far this season. Good God. Takes me to 19-17. Schultz, he was 21-15. He was 1-3 last week. Picked the Argos for some reason, so I made up ground on him there. Okay, so before I get to the picks, just want to mention that the Argos released Cleo Lemon on Tuesday, and I'm left scratching my head, kind of wondering why. Because you look at his numbers in the game where he was pulled against BC, 10 of 13 completed passes. And then you put in Dalton Bell, who immediately throws a pick. Dalton Bell seems to be able to throw nothing but interceptions right now. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, I've never seen anything like this. Every single ball he throws seems to find its way into a defender's hands. So now we got Giles, who hasn't played the entire season and is now supposed to, revitalize an offense. And I'm not entirely sure how good a job he's going to do. I tend to not think he's going to do a good job. This was Barker's decision. I respect Barker for rebuilding the Argos, but now we're getting stupid. We need to call better plays. We need to call more intelligent plays, start pushing things deeper instead of just sticking with Boyd and the short pass game, because it's clearly not working. Speaking of the Argos, they're playing in BC tomorrow afternoon. I really don't see Toronto doing much in this game. Again, they're going to be in the hands of a new quarterback in Stephen Giles, one that they haven't really gotten much of a chance anyways, to practice with. So, forgive me if I fail to see a whole lot of positives from this Toronto Argonauts team. I think with the decision to release Lemon, it was the wrong one. It's the coaching staff. It's Barker and the offensive coordinator who, need to, give their head a shake. Because what 10 of 13 completed passes tells me, and what a lot of short passes completed tells me, is that Cleo Lemon is doing his job. We just need to change up what his job is supposed to be, and that's the job of the offensive coordinators. So right now, Toronto's defense looked better against BC, but still, sloppy tackling. Sloppy tackling is killing them. Usually the teams manage to reverse it, but this time I don't really see the Argos managing to do anything. Got to take BC. Okay, so on to Sunday. Hamilton taking on Montreal. Last week in Hamilton, as I assumed they would, Hamilton crushed Montreal in a game that I actually felt Montreal kind of got the short end of the straw as far as officiating goes. They got a lot of calls against them that I really didn't quite agree with. Nevertheless, it really didn't make that much of a difference. Hamilton was going to slaughter them anyways, so I can't really say that better officiating would have made a difference. But, going back into Montreal now, I think the Alouettes, they've now dropped 2 in a row. You never really like to pick against them when they've lost 1 in a row, let alone 2. Now they're going to play Hamilton again, and one of the toughest things to do in Canadian football is to beat a team twice in a row. The rematch week after Labor Day always seems to be where the Labor Day teams start to fall apart, and the teams that did poorly on Labor Day get their revenge, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I am going to have to take Anthony Calvillo and the Owls to win this one. Okay, on to the Banjo Bowl. Saskatchewan taking on Winnipeg. Saskatchewan 1-7, Winnipeg 7-1 going into last week. Now, after the surprising Saskatchewan win, they're 2-7. However, I tend to think it was a bit of a fluke right now. Saskatchewan, like I said, with a surprising Labor Day win. But remember, let's keep in mind it is Labor Day. And on Labor Day, the home team tends to dominate, even if they're having a crappy season. There's something about the energy in the stadium on Labor Day that just, ignites teams. And trust me, I have been on the losing end of Labor Day countlessly, because the Argos are not fortunate enough to be the home team in that weekend, except for this year, and yeah, don't even go there. Anyways, so Saskatchewan coming up with a surprising victory against Winnipeg, but Winnipeg was bound to lose eventually. And I have to say, I don't think that the win was entirely genuine, and I think the Riders are going to get crushed next week in the Banjo Bowl, or this week. I definitely have to take the Bombers. So those are my picks for this week in case you missed them. Should be an interesting weekend of football. I'm going to try and make up some ground on Schultze. Already got the Calgary game right, so that's good. We're off to a good start. But God knows now Toronto's going to decide that they're going to wake up just so they can prove me wrong and something else is going to go wrong. Anyways, I'll see you next week.